Was right. Clemson would hang tough for a while. About 4 minutes into the ball game, Charlie Ward on fire. Hits Matt Fryer right there. Then Kes McCorvey. This is a 3rd and 1 play. This all on the first drive of the game. And they'll finish the drive as Sean Jackson is going to swing out, catch a little flare. The first drive, 3.5 minutes, 10 plays, 91 yards, and it was pretty much over after that. The Seminole defense, tough. Look at the goal line stick right there. Derek Brooks and Derek Alexander stuffing Rodney Blunt. Third quarter, 3rd and goal from the 2 then. And Ward buying time. Rolling out. Lonnie Johnson hauls it in. 30-zip, Florida State.
Chris, watch Ward. He got defensive tackle Brinson Buckner to buy the fake. Ward then rolled to the outside. Had plenty of time to find Lonnie Johnson in the end zone. Ward and Marvin Graves of Syracuse look like twins at time with their playmaking abilities.
It is the worst defeat for Clemson since 1931. 57-0. Ward has not played in the 4th quarter yet this year. Mike Miller, they came to Notre Dame as the next Rocket. Didn't like the label. Left. Came back, and he looked very much like Rocket, who returned a couple of kicks for touchdowns against Michigan in '89. This punt makes it 17-3 Irish in the 2nd quarter. Michigan would respond. Todd Collins, as they fire marshmallows at the Irish. You got to hit him with something. Mercury Hayes doesn't quite have the wings to get into the end zone, but it would set up a Tyrone Wheatley touchdown. Kevin McDougal, we questioned him this morning on game day, but Lou Holtz's quarterback played very well. Showing the scrambling ability, also showed fine passing ability. The Irish had to hold off a late rally. They win it 27-23, a triumphant ride for a very embattled coach. Wheatley rushed for 146 yards. Jeff Burris, a couple of interceptions for Notre Dame. James Bennett back to punt. Jawan Penny blocks it. OU ball at the 23, and they cash in. Cale Gundy looks for his fine receiver, Corey Warren, as they pick up the blitz here, and Warren gets open, makes a nice catch, 10-zip, Oklahoma. R.C. Slocum's team never able to get going in this ballgame. 3rd quarter. Corey Pulling gets picked off by Mario Freeman. He rumbles back to the 12-yard line. OU cashes in again. Look at the catch by James Allen, the newcomer. A 10-yard touchdown. It's 20-0 Oklahoma at that point. Look at the hurt being put on the Aggies. It'll be another 40 years before they want to go back to Norman. 44-14, huge, because that was one of the biggest tests for A&M all season long. Penn State and USC, a terrific game over just seconds ago. They were happy in Happy Valley early. USC, though, down 21-7, comes back. Rob Johnson, Ken Grace, breaking tackles, heading for the end zone, 31 yards. Trojans back within 7. Now it's 3rd and 17 of the 4th quarter. Johnson to Edward Hervey, 1st down, brings them all the way down to the Penn State 2 eventually. 1st and goal, 37 seconds to go. And Johnson in traffic for Johnny McWilliams. USC within 1, and we applaud John Robinson. He goes for 2 and the win. Are you paying attention, Big Ten fans? Johnson looks for McWilliams. Did he catch it? The ball game on the line, hinging on this call. You don't get that call in Happy Valley. Incomplete. Penn State holds on 21-20. USC also lost their big rivalry game at the end of last season when they failed on a 2-point conversion. Now the trickeration here.
This is what you do. You get the ball from the halfback pass to Palmer, wide open, 63-yard touchdown pass. Anything you can do to get it in his hands, you got to do it.
Now the Commodores caught on. They said, let's put a bunch of guys around number 2. And they do on this play. 3 guys near the ball, but Palmer still makes the grab. Tremendous ball game. Alabama, though, never able to deliver the knockout punch to Vanderbilt. 17-6 is the final. They throw for 342 yards. Antonio Langham, by the way, a couple of interceptions, and Alabama marching toward that school record. Colorado just went wild from the start here. Cordell Stewart already up 7-zip, finds Charles Johnson wide open, 69 yards, 14-zip, Buffaloes.
I like
great
this
play action fake.
Great play action. What happens, the reason why this works is they run the ball so well. They make that good fake. The free safety comes up to make the play, allowing Charles Johnson behind.
Even when things look bad for Colorado, like this fumble by James Hill. Look at the ball bounce past 2 pair defenders, and Johnson falls on it. They scored on their first 4 possessions, and then at the end of the half, Stewart just launches the Hail Mary. Watch the wacky carom, and Johnson, why not grab that? He grabbed everything else in sight. Then at the end of the half, it was 35-0. Colorado holds on, 45-21. Stewart, the last 2 years against Baylor, 30 of 35, 472 yards and 5 touchdowns. The good news, Baylor fans, 90th consecutive sellout in Lincoln. Early in the first quarter, Tommy Frazier hands off to Damon Benning, who is filling in for the injured Calvin Jones, and they don't miss a beat. 45 yards for the touch, 7-zip. Good defense by the Huskers at times today. The All-America linebacker Trev Alberts stopping Robert Hall right there. And then the nose tackle, Terry Conley, shows some quickness and records a sack. And then Tommy Frazier, who didn't look too bad on the gimpy ankle, rolls out, pump fakes, and Corey Dixon takes it down to the 1. Frazier took it over from there, and the Huskers, after trailing midway in the third quarter, storm back. They win it 50-27, and Benning, filling in for Jones, the redshirt freshman, rushes for 127 yards and a couple of touchdowns. South Carolina and Arkansas, John Daly watching his Hogs, his alma mater. But it was South Carolina long off the tee in the early going. Tannehill finds Corey Bridges over the middle, and he does the rest. 55 yards, 7-zip. South Carolina trying for a second straight win on the road in the conference. They led 14-6 at halftime, but in the fourth quarter, Barry Lunny rolls out, finds J.J. Meadows for the 5-yard touchdown, and in the fourth quarter, boom, they zip right in there. Oscar Malone will take it in with 2 minutes to go, 18-17. The two-point conversion would fail, but Arkansas just enough to win. As South Carolina drops to 1-1, the Hogs under Danny Ford are now 2-0. Malone, 23 for 141 yards, and he rushed for once touchdown. North Carolina, a powerful offense, Mack Brown's club, 59-42 over Maryland. They might want to get the defense in order, though, before they take on the Seminoles next week. That is our 8-7, but Iowa State would finally rally. Paul Burmeister of Iowa back, blindsided by Anthony Scott, a fumble, and Iowa State recovers. That would lead to Graston Norris taking the pitch, diving into the end zone. Iowa State cut it to 31-28, $1:25 to play. They try the onside kick, and they get the perfect kangaroo hop. Kevin Lazard comes down with it, but just when it looks like Iowa State's going to pull off a miracle comeback, on the very next play, Bob Utter, the quarterback, tries to scramble, fumbles the football. Iowa recovers. That's why you're Iowa State. Iowa holds on 31-28. It's a big comeback, but it does come up short. Ryan Terry, 10 for 107 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. While we're on the subject of wild games, BYU and Hawaii. Lavelle Edwards down 38-31, but John Walsh throws for Tyler Anderson. Walsh and Anderson teaming up. What a combo. Ties the game at 38, but it's not over. Less than minutes to go. Carlton Oswalt, boing, off the upright. 36 seconds to go. We're still tied at 38. So Walsh, against a prevent defense, somehow Eric Drake gets open over the middle. He takes it 60 yards. They get deep into rainbow territory, well within field goal range for Joe Herrick. They don't even snap the ball. They just set up Herrick for the next play, and he punches it through. 41-38, always a long trip back home to Hawaii. It'll be extra long after the Cougars come back and win that one. Virginia and Navy, it's a shutout. They rush for 222 yards, limit the middies to 66 yards on the ground. Indiana beats Northern Illinois 28-10 as Bill Mallory